Hey man, welcome back, Hawks fans. The Hawks have dropped two in a row to the OKC Thunder and the Wizards, and our injury report is long as shit. I mean, it's insane how long our injury report is. We are the graded Hawks, man. The Emory Hawks. You feel me? We are looking depleted. Send help. SOS. SOS. But let's get into the game, man. First, let's get into the OKC game. That OKC game, I'm going to just say it was growing pains with the team in general. Growing pains with Jalen Johnson trying to be a number two option on his team. He's learning how to be a number two option. A couple years ago, he was just in the G League playing for the College Park Hawks, or College Park Sky Hawks, whatever you want to call them. But now, he's a second option of this team, and he's learning. In the past few years, he's learned how to impact the game. But that OKC game, it was growing pains on how to change the game, and they just took him out of rhythm. He didn't have an in-between game or a half-court game. And in the Wizards game, he showed flashes of the in-between game and having a half-court game. But that's Jalen Johnson. And also, it was a hard guard for Clint Capella because he was guarding Chet Holmgren the whole time. And with Chet being a stretch five and somebody that can stretch the floor, and Clint Capella being a shot blocker, somebody who just protects and defends the paint, it's hard for Clint to protect the paint and then run out to the 3-point line and try to contest for Chet Holmgren. So that was a hard guard for Clint Capella as well. The refs were bad. The pace of the game was ugh. The first half, we set the tone and the pace for that game. The second half, it went away. OKC took control of the pace. And also defensively, me personally, I think defensively we have the personnel to guard 1 through 5, or 2 through 5 if you want to exclude Trey on that. But me personally, defensively, I think that the best defense is switch defense. So let's say there's a pick and roll. If it's not Trey, you switch the pick and roll. You got Larry Nance, you got Onyeka Okongwu, and those two can easily guard the perimeter. I'm not too sure about Clint, but Jalen Johnson, he can easily guard the perimeter. And then you got shooting guards like Vit and Zachary Ricochet, who can also guard the perimeter. So defensively, we have the personnel to execute a switch pick and roll. And even if they have Trae Young involved in the pick and roll, you do a switch pill to where he's switching on to the roll man, and then the bottom person tags Trae out, and then Trae pills out to the corner of a matchup that he's able to guard. So that's defensively what I think, because they were just going at everybody in the pick and roll, and then they were involving Clint Capella in that pick and roll, and Clint was dropping back while Chet was just popping for that three. So it was a hard guard for Clint Capella. Defensively, we had to come up with a better scheme. We had the personnel to execute. What I suggest is the perfect defense for this team. But that's the OKC game. The Wizards game, it's the second night of a back-to-back. Same thing. The beginning of the game, we set the pace. It was a fast transition game. It was up and down, getting up shots quickly. And, it was just a chaotic game, which is the flow that we like as the Atlanta Hawks. But second half, we slowed it down. But the injuries, they continue to pile on. We have more people injured. Vit was injured, and then I think another person was injured as well. But even with Onyeka being injured in this game, Larry Nance showed out. So he should probably get some run. And my opinion, take minutes from Clint Capella. And while also inducing minutes for Larry Nance, we should also introduce a small ball lineup so that way we can initiate more speed to the game. because we're effective when we get out and run and transition. I continue to say this. We have the personnel. We're long, athletic, young. So get out, run in transition, have lineups that, incline speed, that incline people to get out and run and make those fast break plays, make those athletic plays, and get up shots at a crazy rate. Because that's how, that's what's effective to this Hawks team. But yeah, and then as far as having another ball handler, everybody is injured at this point. So Kobe Buffkin, he's a ball handler. He's injured. Jalen Johnson, you want him to bring the ball up the floor, initiate the offense, so on and so on. But besides Trae, he had the ball in his hand about 90%, 80% of the game. That has to change, because it gets too predictable for the offense. And it has to be a more versatile, has to be a little bit more versatile for the offense. So some plays, it should be Jalen Johnson initiating the offense. Some plays, it should be another player initiating the offense. But if you just have Trae Young, if they just give the ball back to Trae every single possession or 7 out of 10 possessions, the defense, they can easily come up with a game plan to stop that. But defensively, another bad night. Wasn't a good night for Trae. Heavy is the crown that wears it. And, got to be held responsible for that night because, what's his name? Akulabale, whatever his name was, he was going to work on Young Buck, man. he was going to work. So it was a bad night defensively. And then also, whoever was guarding Corey Kispert, he had that man looking like Ray Allen, man. So defensively, a bad night. And then I think what piled on top of that was that Zach missed the shot. So in the smaller picture, unfortunately, he missed the shot. But bigger picture, he took the shot. Because the concern and the worries come from if he doesn't take that shot. But that's what you want from your first overall pick, is for him to take those big shots and those big moments. So kudos to him. Small picture, we lost the game, but big picture, we improved. As far as Zachary concern-wise, we improved. Our lineups, man, we got to find something that can pinpoint more speed to our lineups, man. Larry Nance should definitely get more run. But, yeah, not a good showing versus the Wizards. But it is what it is. We progress. And, yeah, leave a like and subscribe.